World War I begins. Hello everyone, welcome back to Omid Media. Please stay tuned and watch till the end, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment for future topics. As I said in my last video, but if you haven't seen that, go watch that first, then come back as it will make more sense. As I was saying, I promised in my last video that there will be a continuation for the First World War, and here you go. What happened during World War I? World War I begins. Convinced that Austria-Hungary was readying for war, the Serbian government ordered the Serbian army to mobilize and appeal to Russia for assistance. On July 28th, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and the tenuous peace between Europe's great powers quickly collapsed. Within a week, Russia, Belgium, France, Great Britain and Serbia had lined up against Austria-Hungary and Germany, and World War I had begun. The Western Front. According to an aggressive military strategy known as the Schlieffen Plan, named for its mastermind German Field Marshal Alfred von Schlieffen, Germany began fighting World War I on two fronts, invading France through neutral Belgium in the west and confronting Russia in the east. On August 4th, 1914, German troops crossed the border into Belgium. In the First Battle of World War I, the Germans assaulted the heavily fortified city of Liege, using the most powerful weapons in their arsenals, enormous siege cannons, to capture the city by August 15th. The Germans left death and destruction in their wake as they advanced through Belgium towards France, shooting civilians and executing a Belgian priest they had accused of inciting civilian resistance. The Eastern Front. On the Eastern Front of World War I, Russian forces invaded the German-held regions of East Prussia and Poland, but were stopped short by German and Austrian forces at the Battle of Tannenberg in late August 1914. Combined with the fierce Allied resistance in France, the ability of Russia's huge war machine to mobilize relatively quickly in the East ensured a longer, more grueling conflict instead of the quick victory Germany had hoped for or to win under the Schlieffen Plan. The Russian Revolution. From 1914 to 1916, Russia's army mounted several offensives on World War I's Eastern Front, but was unable to break through German lines. Defeat on the battlefield, combined with economic instabilities and the scarcity of food and other essentials, led to the mounting discontent among the bulk of Russia's population, especially the poverty-stricken workers and peasants. This increased hostility was directed toward the imperial regime of Tsar Nicholas II and his unpopular German-born wife Alexandra. Russia's simmering instability exploded in the Russian Revolution of 1917, spearheaded by Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks, which ended Tsarists' rule and brought a halt to Russian participation in World War I. Russia reached an armistice with the Central Powers in early December 1917, freeing German troops to face the remaining Allies on the Western Front. America enters World War I. At the outbreak of fighting in 1914, the United States remained on the sidelines of World War I, adopting the policy of neutrality favored by President Woodrow Wilson, while continuing to engage in commerce and shipping with European countries on both sides of the conflict. Neutrality, however, was increasingly difficult to maintain in the face of Germany's unchecked submarine aggressions against neutral ships, including those carrying passengers. In 1915, Germany declared the waters surrounding the British Isles to be a war zone, and the German U-boats sunk several commercial and passenger vessels, including some U.S. ships. Widespread protest over the sinking by U-boat of the British ocean liner Louisiana, traveling from New York to Liverpool, England, from hundreds of American passengers on board. In May, 1915 helped turn the tide of American public opinion against Germany. In 1917, Congress passed a $250 million arms appropriation bill intended to make the United States ready for war. Germany sunk 4 more U.S. merchant ships the following month, and on April 2nd, Woodrow Wilson appeared before Congress and called for a declaration of war against Germany. The Gallipoli Campaign. With World War I having effectively settled into a stalemate in Europe, the Allies attempted to score a victory against the Ottoman Empire, which entered the conflict on the side of the Central Powers in late 1914. After a failed attack on the Dardanelles, the strait linking the Sea of Marmara with the Aegean Sea, Allied forces led by Britain launched a large-scale land invasion of the Gallipoli Peninsula in April 1915. The invasion also proved a dismal failure, and in January 1916, Allied forces staged a full retreat from the shores of the peninsula after suffering 250,000 casualties. And one of the highlights of World War I was the creation/development of tanks, aircrafts, gas attacks, and machine guns. Towards armistice. By the fall of 1918, the Central Powers were unraveling on all fronts. Despite the Turkish victory at Gallipoli, later defeats by invading forces and an Arab revolt had combined to destroy the Ottoman economy and devastate its land, and Turks signed a treaty with the Allies in late October 1918. Austria-Hungary, dissolving from within due to growing nationalist movements among its diverse population, reached an armistice on November 4th. Facing dwindling resources on battlefield, discontent on the home front, and the surrender of allies, Germany was finally forced to seek an armistice on November 11th, 1918, ending World War I. World War I casualties. World War I took the lives of more than 9 million soldiers. 21 million more were wounded. Civilian casualties caused indirectly by the war numbered close to 10 million people. The two nations most affected by war was Germany and France, each of which sent more than 80% of their male population between the ages of 15 and 49 into battle. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for future topics. Until next time.